before the service begins. I gotta say a prayer before I step out the house, cause you know the power of life and death, it comes from the mouth. My people, they perish, cause my people, they blind. I see the youngins on the corner throwing up gang signs. I reached in the glove and grabbed my book. Said the name Jesus, all them demons were shook. Stepped outside, showed them some love. Just like I thought they were some wannabe thugs. They knew I wasn't scared by the look in my eyes. I told them about the Father, said the devil's a lie. Then I put the music up louder. Banging new tracks from my brother Tommy Chopper. It was free indeed, and devil give me 50 feet. But I had to switch it up, and so I hit him with the heat. Cruising down the street with my King James. Casting out demons, breaking them chains. Went to the park to speak some truth. Knuckleheads out there already starting to shoot. A car pulls up, who can it be? My little brother Mike, and he finally free. He rolled down his window and he started to say, if we plead the blood of Jesus, everything'll be okay. Cause the boys in the church will always pray. If you trying to change your life, trying to get out the way, we surrender to Christ, so we feel with the truth. Holy Spirit in the lyrics when I step in the booth. We ain't shame. 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 We ain't shame to speak the name of Jesus Christ. I had a brother hit me up, he was going through things. Told him all about the Bible, told him get down and pray. He was running from cops, he was running from ops. So I told him Jesus Christ the only way to stop. But he's staying in the streets cause that's the way. He provided, he ain't hiding, he trying to get paid. Little did he know that they was trying to set him up. Cops pulled him over, stopped them boys from wetting him up. Cause the boys in the church will always pray. If you trying to change your life, trying to get out the way, we surrender to Christ, so we feel with the truth. Holy Spirit in the lyrics when I step in the booth. We ain't shame. 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 We ain't shame to speak the name of Jesus Christ. Told him about hell and I tell him.
What's going on, good peoples? What's going on? Would it be like that, Brother Boxdale and Sister Austin? Good evening to y'all. How y'all doing? Getting ready to put my mic in, so y'all let me know if my mic sound nice. Holler back at me. Y'all let me. My mic sounds nice. Check one. What we sounding like, y'all? Talk to me. Hey there, Miss Carter, Farmer. How you and Pierre? Miss y'all. How y'all doing? You can hear me, Earlene? Sounds good. Okay, cool. Good beans. Good money. Good money. All right, y'all. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling tonight. Come on, talk back to a brother. How y'all feeling tonight? Did everybody have a good Monday? Pretty solid Monday. I had a wonderful Monday. Yeah. Brother Boxdale. Think it's probably good you went on and worked that double today. Yeah, it might have been the best thing for you today. Yeah, it was a good day today. Man. Might want to hit Deacon Smith up there, Brother Boxdale, and get the report from him. Hey, we good in the land of the living one more day because of his mercy and grace. Yeah, I'm missing y'all. I think it's been some months now, so y'all might can make another appearance. The farmers can come on and make another appearance. Good evening there, Mother dear. I love you much. My day was wonderful, Mother dear, wonderful. And good evening there, Minister Hicks. Blessings to you as well. Blessings to you on this evening. Thank y'all for joining me. Prayerfully, we're going to have some fun tonight. Prayerfully. Give just a few more minutes, then I might not even say minutes, maybe a few seconds. So, Brother Barksdale, I think you and them dudes that call out on Mondays praying again. Chuck was there today. He was there today. Think you might want to ask him, how it went today. I think you might want to ask him, Brother Barksdale. Yeah. Might want to holler at your brother. Peace and blessings to you there, my brother. I was just telling your wife, man, it's been a minute. Time for y'all to, make an appearance. Come on in. Come and see us again. She say y'all still blessed and in the land of the living, so to God be the glory for that. All right, good folks, let's do what we do. Let's have some fun tonight. Can y'all do me a favor? Can you matter of fact, let me go here, because I ain't do my little disclaimers and all that type stuff. I don't want nobody messing with my stuff. So let me make sure I put this out there on the live, so that I don't get no foolishness. Make sure they know, because it's a lot of nonsense and foolishness goes on these days. So that's up there, so can't say it wasn't. All right, can y'all do me a favor? If you can, I want y'all to like this, tag it, share it. Brother Barksdale, you on YouTube, so you can X out of the chat where it says chat. You can X out of that, hit that thumbs up key, and then go right back to live chat. Trying to see if I can build some numbers up here. But let's do what we do, y'all. Good evening there, my big bro Steve. Blessings to you. Praying that you had a great day today. That's what I'm talking about, Brother Pierre. That's what I'm talking about. Real soon. But can y'all do me a favor? Can y'all start to send up hearts? Hearts are our way of establishing that this is a room of love. And, we don't mind showing love. We communicate in love. We, may even disagree, but it's in love. We want people to know that this is a mature setting, a mature audience. And so send up the hearts. You can fill the chat with hearts, or right down the bottom where you see that heart symbol, you can press that and that starts to send hearts up. And then I want you to send hearts up, because hearts are our way of letting God know that we are grateful. We are thankful. We are so grateful for God's love that he has for us. The Bible says we could only really love him because he first loved us. And so I am appreciative and grateful for the love that God has for me. Each day he allows me to see is a blessing, and I'm grateful. I'm trying something new. The last few weeks, I haven't tagged anyone. I just want to see if, I can get some people to come on organically, see if we have like a real audience. But I'm grateful, y'all. So that's why we send up our hearts. I am Pastor Arnel Marshall. Welcome to Moment on Monday. And let's have some fun. All right, let me see if I can get to here. We can take that off. And tonight, this is where we will be tonight. This is where we will be tonight. All right. So P2P, we'll dig into that in a little bit. I want to ask a question. I want to start off asking a question. One of the questions I want to ask tonight is, who are you? Who are you? When you really sit back and you take a real honest look at yourself, who are you? And once you take a good, real, honest look at yourself, ask yourself this question as well. Does who I see myself as line up with who I present myself as? Let me say that again. Let me ask that again. I want you to ask yourself, who are you? Then when you ask yourself, who are you? I want you to really look at yourself in an honest way, and who you see yourself as, is that the same person that you present yourself as? Man. Good evening there, Ivory. You know, we live in a crazy world today where so many people, they live by facades. They live by imagery. They live by I was getting ready to say mannequinism, like they're a mannequin. It's almost like they're not real, but no, they just not always what they appear to be. And what's crazy about that is the world supports that more than those who are really authentically trying to be themselves. If you are authentically trying to be yourself, in most regards, people feel like you think you better than people. How dare you be so confident in who you are? How dare you be so complete in how dare you feel like you can have the audacity to be the real you? Man, it's amazing. I am a citizen of the kingdom of the Most High God, okay? It's amazing how many of us, we will say that we are one way, but then in many cases, we are really another way. Most of the time we're saying we one way because we want the people we're saying it to confirm, affirm, agree with what it is that we're saying. So I say I'm a nice person because I want you to agree that I'm a nice person. I say that I'm, a great cook because I want you to confirm that I'm a great cook. I want to be affirmed. I want to be confirmed. I want to be agreed with. Most of the time, my brothers and sisters, confidence doesn't really need confirmation. Confidence doesn't really need confirmation. You can't get more confident than Jesus. And he didn't go around looking for confirmation. I'm just trying to put that in the chat. Confidence doesn't need confirmation. So many people feel like the only way I can really be who I am is if somebody puts their stamp on it. Now, don't get me wrong. All of us want to be appreciated. All of us want to be liked. All of us want to be loved. All of us wanted to be treated a certain way. Yes. But Jesus, again, using Jesus as the example, Jesus in human form, walking the earth, he didn't worry about what they was going to refer to him as, even though he was born from a woman. He didn't worry about how the people who had status quo would receive him, even though he was from Galilee. He was confident. And the one thing, or one of the things I should say, that he was trying to really instill in those that would follow him was confidence. Confidence in who you are, because when you're confident in who you are, that's when your giftings, that's when your talents, that's when your personality, that's when who you are starts to exude easily. My God. My God. Is there anybody out there that's still listening to me? I know I'm early in this, and maybe might, but can y'all hear me? Are you with me tonight? It seemed a little quiet. Want to make sure this thing is still on. Somebody holler back at your boy. Okay. All right. So when you look at it, right, Brother Barksdale, when you look at this thing, right, whatever it was that you was confident in, you didn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about who was sanctioning your confidence. You was too busy worrying about whatever it was you was confident in, doing it and doing it well. I remember, many days playing basketball. Many days playing basketball. I would practice sometimes harder than I would play in games and things of that nature. I would practice hard because I really, really wanted to be good. And my game, I remember my game was stunted. It was not really getting where I thought it could be, because I kept feeling like this person had to affirm me, take me under their wing. And when that person wouldn't take me under their wing, I felt like that meant I wasn't good enough. I felt like that meant that, I wasn't who I thought I was. It wasn't until I went to play in a league. And when I played in this league, it was some of the big names in Baltimore City. And, they had their following. I come from South Baltimore at the time. Not a lot of people really knew about me. And I was a little intimidated because of the names and, the places they come from and all of this. But when I got to playing and I saw that not only was I playing, but I could play and I could play well, that was the beginning of me not worrying about somebody telling me how good I was. I started to believe in myself. If you said I was good, cool, I appreciate that. But I started to believe in myself. And when I started to believe in myself, it took pressure off of me to worry about trying to be what other people thought I should be. You know, some people thought I should do this more or do this more. Sometimes they were correct, because in order to be great, you have to listen and you have to be a great follower. And so some things I listened to, but good evening there, Adrian. But then there were some things I didn't listen to because it was people's way of trying to hinder and stunt the growth that I had. Like, man, why are you out there at night? First of all, I'm not bothering anyone. First of all, I'm, minding my business. Then I'm doing something that I liked. Matter of fact, that I loved. So it doesn't matter if you think I'm doing it too much. I shouldn't be doing it. All of these things. That wasn't what was giving me my confidence. What was giving me my confidence was the fact that I believed that if I continue to do this, it would give me the results that I was already seeing. Man, I just said something, y'all, and I know it missed you. I know you didn't grab it. What was bringing me success wasn't coming from what people were saying. What was bringing me success was what I was doing. And so, my brothers and sisters, I kept doing what I was doing, because what I was doing, my confidence came from the fact that what I was doing was working for me. And sometimes what I do may not work for you. What you do may not work for me. That shouldn't stop you from doing what you do, because if what you do works for you, you're succeeding, then why should you feel like you should abandon what you're doing or who you are to try to do me or to be me? It don't make sense. And I believe many people are missing the blessing. The biggest blessing that God could give them is the beauty of what they can create. The beauty of what they can do. The beauty of who they are. All of us have something. Some of us are gifted enough, blessed enough to have some things. But all of us at least have something. God birthed us with something. And some of us are robbing people of the joy or the victory of being able to get off of you what it is that God has given you to not only bless you, but bless others. So, I began to build my confidence up in basketball. What's crazy, and I have to be transparent here. Y'all still with me? This thing's still on? I ain't seen no movement in a minute. Y'all still with me? Somebody let me know that we still on. I think this thing is still on. I ain't got no message saying it's not. But what got me, right? And I have to be transparent here, is that, thank you, Earlene, I was confident. Brother Barksdale, Brother Farmer. I was confident, but I was only confident in basketball. I was only confident in basketball. I hadn't learned how to be confident in me. And so when I was in that, I used to call it my square circle because I was a wrestling fan, big wrestling fan when I was young. So I used to call the basketball court my square circle, even though it was more of a rectangle. And when I got in that square called the paint, I felt like this was my domain. And I'm not going to allow too many to be able to be victorious over me. Thank you, Mother dear. The confidence I had in the square circle, I wished I had outside of it. I could be so confident. Some people used to call it arrogance. I don't ever ascribe or subscribe to that testimony because I clearly knew that there were people that were better than me. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and just write you a love letter of how good you are and how better than me you are. No, we're going to tie these shoes up and go at it. That was my confidence. That wasn't me being arrogant. And I felt like to have the edge that I had to believe in me the way that I believed in me. Because if I didn't, I'm already giving you an edge. And thank you, Brother Barksdale. And so many times, man, I was so confident there. But when I came off that court, I was somebody different. I was shy, which is crazy. When I would tell people I was shy, they're like, you? Yeah, I was shy because I was so scared of rejection. The only place I felt like I was him was in that basketball arena, in that place. It wasn't until, I really got with my wife, who was my girlfriend, and she started to encourage me. And, she started to speak into me. And that was the first time somebody sounded like they really meant what they said. That was the first time their words went past my ears. And those words started to settle in my soul, in my heart, in my conscience. And I started to believe that I wasn't just him. Yes, sir, Brother Pierre, being the GOAT to myself. And, I started to believe. So, my brothers and sisters, I want to get back to the point. Are you presenting someone that's not really who you are? I believe our world is so shaky and flaky these days because many people are projecting their insecurities. They're making you think that they are this, they are that, they are tough, they are strong, they this, that, and other. When in actuality, they scared to death, they fragile. The slight bit of rejection has them ready to fold and throw in the towel. The slightest bit of turmoil, trouble, trial has them in a state of anxiety, not as confident in themselves as they were just projecting. And my brothers and sisters, I wanted to come on tonight, right? And I wanted to try to encourage someone that we have to stop worrying about who we are on the outside and really start to deal with who we are on the inside. I believe so many people are so gifted and blessed, but they can't allow us to tap into it because they are so busy trying to impress instead of just trying to be an example. Oh man, I just said something, y'all. I just said something that I feel as though was a major nugget. So many people miss being an example because they want to impress people. Trust me, if people see your authenticity, and your authenticity is of, a positive yield, they'll automatically be impressed. Because in this world today, with all this foolishness and craziness going on, they would be impressed that you can still be who you are in this. Now, yes, you're going to have some that's going to hate. Yes, you're going to have some that downplay. Yes, you're just going to have all kinds. But there will be those who will see your example and feel like I may have a shot at this thing, because if Arnel can hold on and hang in there and do the things necessary, I can too. See, we got to get out of our heads and mind all of this extravagant. See, we like to do stuff big. We want everything big. So we want to be big examples. We want you to see our fortune and our fame and all of these things, when in actuality, show me how to make the first step. Good God Almighty. Show me that it's possible to take the first step. Show me that there's still strength after the first step. Trying to be who people want you to be instead of figuring out who you are through God's eyes. Absolutely. Let's take off the old wineskin, because God is increasing our capacity so the new wine can shine through. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. See, Sherry and Adrian, when you dig into both of your statements, it's basically saying the same thing, just in different ways. If God is going to get you to that new wineskin, you first of all have to come to grips with the old wineskin. You have to accept, first of all, that it's old and that there is a need for new. See, some people love the old so much, they're not trying to let it go. See, I was nice on the court, but these days I haven't played basketball in years. I'm not going to totally say I'm a scrub, but I'm not who I was. And it would be crazy for me to keep trying to live off of something that I haven't done in so many years. I'm in a new experience. I'm in a new place. And so I can't take people back to Mazel Street, to the basketball court. Can't take you there unless you going back there and we interviewing or we going on the court to do some type of documentary or something like. But I can't take you there. That's behind me. And so in order for me to embrace and really flow in the new wineskin, I have to accept that the old and that old experience, cotton, just ain't fitting for what the future presents. My God. So many times people are trying to get confirmation from people who they don't have answers anyway. Yes, sometimes we're the last to accept it's over. And oh, yes, Pootie, I can't run up and down that court like I used to. I can't. I used to love flying through the air. My God, I used to love it. I felt like, I felt like God had given me something that he didn't give a lot of people. And so I loved it. But I can't do that now. So it would be crazy of me to keep trying to take somebody. A few weeks ago, a memory came up on Facebook, and it's two different clips. One clip showed me trying to dunk the ball, and the ball it gets hung like we like we would call it back in the day. I missed it. The rim caught it, didn't go in. But then the second one, I'm able to dunk it. Boom. But when I looked at it, that thing is over 10 years old. Good evening there, Sister Pepper Watts. It's over 10 years old. I'm a different person in 10 years. Good evening there, Auntie. I don't even look like I looked 10 years ago. That's messed up, Brother Barksdale. I don't look like that dude. I can't do what that dude do. But I can do some things now that that dude couldn't do. I can walk a certain way now that that dude couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So what I have now, my God, although I can't do that, what I have now is better than what I had then. God Almighty. I wish I had somebody listening to me, man. Who I am now, I'll take him. You know, yes, we would love to go back in the day. If I could go back in the day, I would do this, that, and the third. If you went back in the day and you altered things, it's not guaranteed that you would still end up in the place that you think you would end up in. Yeah, I would love to go back in my early years, get in church, love the Lord, live a certain way. But there are certain experiences I wouldn't have experienced, and there's certain things I wouldn't have, and there's certain pores that I wouldn't be able to pour out because God needed me to experience some things, or allowed me to experience something, so that I can have a pour for people who are experiencing what I've experienced, or who may be on their way to experiencing what I experienced. So tonight, y'all, P2P, right? So many people are invested in the last P, but they don't understand that it's the first P that really can set the last P up for you to be successful. And the P2P means from private to public. So many people want to be a public success, but they're a private failure. My God. And many people fail to realize that who you are in private is who you really are. You can fake me out in public, but in private, it's the real you. It's the you that God has given you. You're a crazy person if you're sitting around your house trying to talk to yourself how you talk to people out in the streets. You a crazy person if you in your house trying to dress up and look a certain way like you would if you was out in public. So many people are public successes, but they are private failures. My God. So many people, they are living for the public. You go on their social media, everything is about their public persona. They look a certain way. You only gonna see certain things that they post, because my public persona has to be a certain way so that the audience that I'm trying to impress can continue to clap and do whatever it is that do to feed. Check this out. That insecurity. That ain't security. That's insecurity. Because anytime you have to project yourself as something just to get the adulation and the applause of men, that's an insecure person. And this is why, my brothers and sisters, you can go on my page, you can see all kinds of stuff. You can see me tripping, you can see me in my truck jamming the music, you can see me, by water. You can see me in a whole different gamuts of environments and situations, because I'm committed to living this life. And I have committed also to trying my best. Not that I'm living for this, But I understand that there's responsibilities that come with this thing called life. So I'm trying my best to be an example, not an example for people to be able to point and say that they can underachieve. I'm trying to be an example that people can see that you can achieve, and you can achieve even if you had odds against you. Come on, can I talk to somebody tonight who you ain't always had it going on? You ain't always had it going on. But I need you to understand that just because you ain't have it going on in what we would consider far as in a worldly sense doesn't mean you didn't have it going on, period. Some of us, we are such treasures just by ourselves. Some of us have golden personalities. Some of us have, traits and things about us that some people would be willing to pay for. You have a magnetism that people that just draws people. People love to be around you. You have an attitude that makes people feel calm and safe when they're around you. You have an attitude that helps people get uplifted. You have a way about you that people feel encouraged, that people feel like, you know what? Yeah, I can do this. I am, because I seen this person, I seen that person. So I go back to my original question. Who are you? When you look at yourself honestly, who are you? And when you see yourself for who you are, is that the same person that you present when you come out of your house? Is that the same person you present when you're on your job? Is that the same person you present when you in your circles with your friends and your business partners or wherever you are? Is that the person that you see when you're home? See, when I'm home, I'm silly. When I'm in the street, I'm silly. When I'm home, I'm serious. When I'm in the street, I'm serious. When I'm home, I take pictures. When I'm out the street, I take pictures. It ain't too much you're going to see different. Follow me. And my thing is, I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to be consistent. I can tell you that, because that's my commitment to myself, is to be consistent and to be consistently me. I have something I want to let you know about later today. I went, okay, cool. What goes on in the dark always comes out in the light. Nothing but a fraud. Yeah. And unfortunately, with that, Sherry, so many people put on this fake, this facade, this front. And when the light does start to shine on the darkness, sometimes the fall is so great. Sometimes the fall is so far that some people are not able to recover from. So many people end up with damaged egos, because when people start to pick away, like when you see, certain people in our political arenas, when you start to pick away at their flaws and real realities, they go into attack mode. They start to attack people because their ego is now being crushed. Their feelings are now being hurt. They're now having to deal with and possibly accept the fact that I am not who I present myself to be. My God, my God. So my brothers and sisters, I got a story. Where we at? We're at 8:43. I got a little story from the Bible that I wanted to kind of bring to light. I did a little bit of teaching and preaching on Sunday from this, and it's the story of David. 1 Samuel 16th chapter, and a verse from and two verses from the 17th chapter. In the 16th chapter, verse 11, and I'm a paraphrase here. The prophet Samuel was there to anoint one of Jesse's sons. Jesse is David's father. There's 8 sons, but it's only 7 that that's present at the time. He goes through all seven, all seven, all seven. But the oil doesn't flow. Oil doesn't come out. He knows he's there to anoint one because God sent him. He didn't send himself. God sent him. So he says, is there another? That's when the father said, yes, there's another. You know, this is what gets me about the text, right? Samuel said, send for him at once. We will not sit down to eat until he arrives. Some of us, we are so caught up in the fact that we wasn't in the first pickings, the first crew, that sometimes this is damaging to our ego because we wanted to be in the first crew. We wanted to be the first pick. But sometimes, my brothers and sisters, God has a way of allowing those who feel like they deserve certain things to jump out in front so we can see that, nah, this ain't for you. And sometimes God will allow the ones that is for to not even be paying attention, to what it is that the others are running for. See, some people are competing for prizes that you could care less for. Come on, come here. Give me your good ear. Some people around you, some people in your family, some of your friends, sometimes your spouse, co-workers, they competing for prizes that you ain't even interested in. The text says all of them, all seven of them went in there. Nobody thought, oh, David not here, let me get David. Where David at? Bro, did you tell David? Somebody go get David. Nobody's saying none of that. Because everybody in there feel like they supposed to be in there. Guess where David at? The text says there is still the youngest, but he's out in the fields watching the sheep and goats. My brothers and sisters, sometimes your private ain't gonna stay private. Sometimes your private is what's needed in public. And sometimes what's public needs to be put into private. The way his brothers and father was carrying it, thank God that was private. Thank God that was only happening in Jesse's house, because we don't need to see this dysfunction. You don't even call one of your sons. We don't want to see that. Thank God that what you're trying to do in public sometimes get pushed in private, but then sometimes what you're doing in private is needed in public. So David is out working and doing what it is that he does. And one of the things we find out that he does, besides working, and they also said that he was a warrior. So besides working and being a warrior, we also know that he's a worshiper. Yeah. In 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter, verses 17 and 18, we find out that Saul is having, these migraines, these different things going on, and he needs somebody to help him with that. So he says, find me someone who plays skillful enough that can help me with this. Sometimes God will allow a public problem to occur so that your private practices can now go public. Woo! My God. Sometimes God will allow public problems to occur so that your private practices can be revealed. Jesus. Y'all, oh man, I'm having too much fun. Let me calm down. David ain't even worried about what's going on at the house. He ain't worried about it. He ain't worried about what's going on in the house. He's still working, capable of being a warrior, and worshiping. And my brothers and sisters, guess who was watching? Guess who was watching? I know some of you going to say God. Yes, of course, God was watching. Yes, of course, God was watching. Yes. But guess what? Somebody in the royal palace was watching as well, because they said to Saul, there is a young man, one of Jesse's sons, that plays the harp very well. And we believe that he can help you with your public problem because we've seen his private practices. My God. See, some of you, again, you worry about impressing people when you should be worrying about just being, just do you. I ain't worried about none of that other stuff that other people running for. I'm so busy doing me. The biggest job I have is being me. I'm confident in being me. I ain't trying to be y'all. So I ain't run up to the house even though I wasn't invited. I ain't even come in the house. When I did come in the house, say, why y'all ain't invite me? Oh, man, come on, y'all. Yeah, because see, sometimes, my brothers and sisters, if you get confident in who you are, you don't have to prove yourself to people who don't see who you are. I just said something there. Let me rewind that real quick, because I seen that run right past you. See, when you're confident in who you are, you ain't worried about impressing people who don't see who you are. You're too busy being who you are. You're too confident and comfortable in who you are. I ain't worried about what you think. And so, my brothers and sisters, as I get ready to wrap this thing up, right? It would seem like David was losing, right? Father obviously overlooked him. Brothers overlooked him. The man who came to anoint him, David, wasn't his first pick, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, seventh. He ended up being the eighth only because the first seven wasn't it. And I asked this question in church on Sunday, and I asked this question now. Can you handle not being the people's pick? Can you handle being God's pick, but not the people's pick? Can you handle just being God's pick and nobody else's? Can you still be confident enough to still walk in when they do finally send for you? Can you be confident to still walk in and accept what's yours, even though they was trying to give it to somebody else? Some of you would have been crazy. No, you wanted to give it to them. No, because I mean, you went 7 times without. No, I don't want it now, because you should have hollered at me first. Some of you are crazy. You have to understand that, yeah, sometimes some people are going to have to find out who you are. It's not your job to keep telling them who you are and they should know who you are. It's your job to just be who you are. And who you are will make room for what's yours. Good God Almighty. Who you are will make room for what's yours. And so, yeah, if they'd have had their way, they'd have denied David access to what's his. And can I tell somebody tonight that there are some people that's out there, they try and deny what's yours. But can I tell you that they can't do nothing about it? I can say this with confidence, that if you worry about being you, God will make sure that whatever belongs to you will be yours. Can I just say that to somebody tonight confidently, that if you worry about being you, God will make sure that whatever's yours, you will have. David didn't have to fight for nothing. It was his. I need y'all to read the story. David didn't have to fight for nothing. It was his. And some of you got the nerve to be fighting with people for something that's yours. It wasn't theirs. I don't care if they tried to grab it. It's not theirs. It's yours. And sometimes, yeah. And sometimes you're going to have to let them see. I love this text again because the text says they set up the room, everything's set up, and everybody thought they was about this and was something was in the room. But the honoree wasn't in the room. And see, sometimes, my brothers and sisters, God is setting up your room and using those who would try to keep you out the room to set it up for you. Can you handle that some of your blessings you're not going to set up? Can you handle that some of your blessings, some of the people that are trying to keep you from being blessed are going to set them up for you? Y'all, I got to go because y'all ain't hollering back at your boy. I feel like I'm saying something tonight and it feel like I'm just talking to this screen. You know, I love to quote my mother. I love it because my mother came from some very humble beginnings. And, you know, it would seem like certain things she didn't deserve, you know, Black woman, projects, you know, young mother, lost her mother young, just different challenges, different decisions she made. And it just seemed like, you know, a tough job, only one providing, men that really wasn't no good. And it would seem like, you know, she was losing. And I'm quite sure sometimes that thing got to her. But my mother kept on being her. That's where I get my example from. My mother is almost the same person that she was when I was growing up. The difference that there is, I've seen the maturity. I've seen the things that she used to do that she don't do anymore. But I've seen the things that she was good at, she's still good at. She ain't out here in these streets acting a fool. She is an example. She's not perfect, but she's an example. And God had to make sure that she got what comes with her having the audacity to be authentic. Do you have the audacity to be authentic? You ain't got the best hand, but you authentic. I mean, other people look like they winning, but you authentic. Your stuff comes slowly, but authentic. You may have to rob Peter to pay Paul, but you authentic. Do you have the audacity to be authentic? And I believe God has honored my mother. I believe it was only so far I could go because my mother, she wasn't always busting church doors down, but I believe she bust them down enough, pray for me, and to believe that God could ultimately turn things around. And so that's why I quote her a lot. That's why I make sure I tell her I love her, you know, because I want her to understand that I understand now. All the stuff I took for granted when I was younger, I appreciate now. Because, you know, she could have been anybody else. She could have gave up a long time, but she dared to be herself, authentically herself. And I appreciate that. Everybody can't do that. I got a little brother, and not just because he's my little brother, but yes, he's my little brother. LaVar Marshall is one of the best men I know in my life. Not perfect, but I'll put that man up against a lot of people. That man there, that's a great man there. That's a great young man there. I love me some LaVar Marshall. That man is absolutely authentic. That man ain't worried about what a whole bunch of people got to say about him. He ain't living to impress people. That man is a man's man. And I give God praise for him because, he had every reason to give up. He ain't always had what he had. He had some hills to climb, some challenges, and still got some challenges. But what I love about him, I don't hear too much complaining. That man can take some blows and still have the audacity to be authentic. That man, it can seem like his hand is not winning, but that man has the audacity to be authentic. And I can't say that about a lot of men. I can't even say that about myself. I had to grow into certain things. That young man helped me in a lot of ways. I used to talk to him on a regular basis, and I'm just grateful that God has allowed him to be a man. But again, that goes back to my mother. My mother has sown seeds that God is allowing her, thank God, to reap the harvest from. My mother had 3 boys. For a woman, that's a tough job to have 8 years apart with each. So that's 8 different generations, 8 different thought patterns, 8 different ways of going about life. And, for the most part, we good. We still praying for the youngest one. We still praying for him, but God has his hands on him as well. And, but God is amazing. And so what you do in private, sometimes God will require that to be shown in public. My mother is the mother of my church now. The mother of my church. Yes, he is. He's a fighter, not a quitter. Yes, he is. My mother is the mother of my church. Go figure. Go figure. The woman that probably wasn't big on herself at certain points, the woman who, lived in the projects. Sometimes we had to, not often, because she was a fighter herself, not a quitter. So we didn't spend a lot of time on social services. We had our little moments with it, but for the most part, she was a worker. She would fight us. She would quit. And most of us have that attitude. It can get down, but we ain't giving up, and now she's the mother of my church. Now she has to be an example to other mothers. Now other people call her Mama Gerald. Other people love to be in her presence. Other people love to hug up on her and be close to her. A person that at a time, she ain't like to be around a whole bunch of people. She would always say, I don't want to be bothered. If you know my mother, that's one of her. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered. And, but Now she got a whole lot of bother, and it don't bother her. She sits there, laugh with them, trip with them, joke with them, love up on them, encourage them, correct them. She do all of these things. And it's a beautiful thing to see. But she sold these things in private. And so her public success is not some new phenomenon. Nah, she been sowing this. And now God is just bringing it to the light for others to see. So y'all, that's my moment on Monday tonight. P2P, private to public. Are you living the life that God can take from private to public? That God can allow you to be an example, that God can trust people to eat off of who you are, that God can trust people to be able to mature and see him off of you? Or are you still trying to impress? And you trying to impress leaves you depressed, because when you don't get the responses that you look for, it depresses you. I'm Pastor Arnel Marshall. I pastor Community Outreach Ministry, 2616 Ridgely Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230. Thank you, Earlene. I pray that if this spoke to you, this did anything for you, I pray that you would share this. Pray that this is shared. I believe that this can really help some people who are struggling with their public, because they need to understand that they're going to have to pay some attention to their private. Somebody is going to have to make the decision to just get my private straight. Because as Sherry said earlier, what's done in the dark shall come to the light. And when the light gets shown on you, what are people going to see? Are they going to see an example? Or are they going to see somebody who was trying their best to project their insecurity? Love you, mother dear. Love you so much. Pray you have a great rest of the night. So anybody, Lottie Dottie and anybody, if you ain't doing nothing on Sundays, come holler at us, man. Come on. It's worth at least one visit to come holler at us. 2616 Ridgely Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230. Holler at us. You know, if you can't see us physically, you can join us in virtual sanctuary. We have two virtual platforms, Facebook and YouTube. I look forward to it, Sherry. Facebook and YouTube. 11 o'clock every Sunday. Man, we in there trying to lift up this God that can do some marvelous things with some people who you probably feel as though don't deserve none of it. But he doing some marvelous things with these. Man, he's shaping some people up that was shaky. He's shaping the shaky. He's shaping the shaky. So come on in. I love you, Auntie, my beautiful Auntie. I thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you, Auntie. And I appreciate you also not being a quitter. You're a fighter. Yes, Lord, you're a fighter in the physical and in other arenas. But I love you, Auntie. I look forward to it, Brother Pierre. I absolutely look forward to it. Man, this has been wonderful. Man, I appreciate all of you. As you can see, I put my Cash App up because someone told me not to be ashamed. Let people pour into you. So sometimes I be kind of tripped up with this. I don't want people to think I'm doing this for money, but they were like, you know, you give your time, You consistent. Let people pour into you. Let them be blessed and you be blessed at the same time. So again, I appreciate those who sow into me. I don't take it for granted. I thank you so much. Whatever it is that you sow into, I appreciate you and I thank you. So P2P, private to public. God bless y'all. Now, y'all know what time it is, right? So let me get this
real, cause I'm saved and redeemed just to do the Father's will. My brothers out there stuck on chasing dollars. Please understand that you have a loving Father. He filled me with his spirit, so yes, I'm gonna be preaching. No matter where I'm at, look his word, I'm gonna late at about 10. Now I gotta hurry up before the service begins. I gotta say a prayer before I step out the house, cause you know the power of life and death, it comes from the mouth. My people, they perish, cause my people, they blind. I see the youngins on the corner throwing up gang signs.